So Randy, I have some specific questions for you.
All right.
After 20 years of doing this, what are the top 2 or 3 things that you find the difference between a successful dentist and a dentist that isn't quite as successful?
Well, number one, that pleasing personality. That a doctor that could talk and smile, that's a big thing. Most people are presenting like as if it's bad news. If they get a case presentation over 15,000, their face, because I've been in practices, is like, it's like bad news. Well, you get what you pay for, and to fix it, it's like a sad face. So you've got to look positive. You're one of the people that knows how to do this naturally, to present in a positive way.
Well,
I also
you.
think that the most successful practitioners study success. They study communication, they study marketing, they listen to audiobooks. Yeah. They go to things like Grant Cardone's 10X meeting, or Tony Robbins, or Gary Vaynerchuk, like we were talking about earlier, that they have to be ongoing learners. They have to be committed to constant and never-ending improvement.
And the amazing thing is those guys have nothing to do with dentistry, but yet they have such a big influence in my life that have inspired me to move forward in this direction. And that's important to understand, that just because you're a dentist, you're not isolated from the real world. And these people can inspire you to do some amazing things.
The other thing, when I go inside an $8 million or $15 million practice, these higher end practices also have the sales collateral materials. They have a lot of before and after photos with faces.
Right.
So many doctors are selling the wrong thing. They're selling teeth, retracted views. Look, I'm not a dentist. Regular humans, we don't look at inside of people's mouths that way. So if you're trying to, in motivational psychology, if you're trying to compel them to take action, it's not by showing them the inside of a mouth. You'll impress your dental friends. But you need before and after photos. Could you imagine you're in a case presentation and it's a 70-year-old woman, let's talk about dental implants, 70-year-old woman, and if you're just using your might and your personality and your rapport building skills to get trust, and you're tailor making your presentation, you can do it that way. You could survive. However, could you imagine if that same 70-year-old woman, you had 50 other 70-year-olds that you could show them how it changes their look, their appearance, and then you could give anecdotal stories of how it's changed their lives? That's big. So if you want to put, that's one way to put your messaging on steroids. Look, I work with Clear Choice. One thing, look, we're all telling stories in business. Yes. We're telling stories to our customers, we're telling stories to each other. The people telling the most compelling stories will ultimately win. Yeah. So whether you like Clear Choice or not, they're the great storytellers. You look at one of their commercials, it's a guy golfing, it's the fireman that now could joke with the rest of the fire guys, where before, because his teeth were so bad he couldn't. So there's gonna be a big emphasis, because we all know we have to get photos, but the question is, how do we do it? How do we get the signed consent? How do we ask? I'm gonna give them a fail-proof strategy that you will get about 5 before and after photos with their faces each week.
And the important thing for me for the summit is a mindset, right? I'm trying to get a mindset shift of the doctors to realize, as you're saying, it's a lifestyle that we're in and not necessarily a tooth business.
Yeah.
And that's really important to understand. Now, granted, we still have to do some of those basic dentistry that we need. Everybody gets a broken tooth here and there. But really what you're trying to do is you're trying to change some lifestyles, which I think is really the key.
They need to think bigger, right? Yeah. They need to get off, because I hear some miserable dentists, but this is in all industries. Corporate dentistry is coming along, this is coming along, and in my town they're this way and that way. The goal, look, if you become excellent at what you do, not only is as excellent, and I heard this from somebody that's doing 12 arches a week. Right. And that's big numbers, 12 to 14 arches a week, Dr. Manaras actually. And he said this, he said, as excellent as you are as a clinician, you need to be equally as excellent in the case presentation,
yes,
in the treatment planning.
Yes.
And that's what I want to address in this meeting, which is how to take your current messaging and just make it better.
And it sounds like attitude is a big component of that.
Yeah, you have to enlarge your vision. See, that's the other thing. There's a movie, there's the Facebook movie. And I remember in this part of the movie, talking about the growth of Facebook, it was like they had 900,000 people, then 1 million people. When it got to 1 million subscribers, Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook, walks out to all of his hackers and he says, we have to start thinking bigger. And that's what I'm challenging every dentist. It's time to think bigger. I think these are the best of times for, with corporate dentistry, Look, corporate dentistry is corporate dentistry. But you take the individual that's giving great service, exceeding expectations, has a little bit of a dazzling personality, tailor-making their presentations, that's big.
And I think that's why this summit is so powerful, and I want all dentists to come and join, because that's my ultimate goal, is to get them to get motivated to think bigger, to think that dentistry is the best profession, and they chose the right profession.
It is a growth mindset.
Yeah.
You have to start there. You've got to
Absolutely.
think bigger. You got to think, and the nice thing about this summit is they're going to network with other big thinkers.
That's right.
Right? I talk to dentists all the time. Look, for 20 years, on any given day, I'm talking to a dentist, either hearing them explain themselves or helping them explain themselves. And what I like about you is you are a big thinker. You're different than most of the people that I talk to. You don't,
Well,
we didn't spend any time on what's preventing you. You talked about all the opportunities. You almost live with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
That's what I want these people to take away from there. We kind of want to ruin their thinking, so when they walk out of there, they're going, man, there's so much more to this.
Well, my accountant hates me because of that. But with that said, I think the risk factor is that you just have to have confidence. You have to have confidence to go after things and always try to strive to be better. And I think as dentists, it's all in front of us. There's not any point in time that we need to be stagnant. We always have to push forward to strive to get better things in our lives and to provide it for our communities. I believe that strongly.
Yeah, and a lot of the doctors think, well, I don't have a Dr. Safarian personality or a Bill Dorfman personality. You don't have to. You don't have to be this loud, obnoxious salesperson. In fact, there's an expression, never get caught selling. And that's what we're going to introduce to them. So you could just have passion the way I'm talking right now, showing empathy and understanding and active listening skills. I mean, this is a big topic.
Well,
I love this topic.
It's a huge topic, and those 90 minutes that you're going to be speaking in front of our audience is going to be an amazing time, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you, Randy.
Good.